Good morning, everyone. It's cold today, and in some parts of Kentucky, it's snowing. Not here. No snow here yet. Which means I'm probably going to leave the crew in today because we might get some rain. Made me a fire. See that? Yes. Yeah. Time to heat the house a little bit. Well, to heat this whole house is just about impossible. And but tell you what, the first winter that the children and I spent here, everybody had to go back to work, and we were here all alone for a few months over the winter, and the basement hadn't been done yet, so there was an open hole, which I secured that, and many parts still at the house weren't done and kind of open. And we had an insert. It wasn't a stove sitting out like this. This is a wooden coal, and I can open up this top here, and you can cook on it. Cool, huh? Yeah. We cooked. We had power outages here over Christmas and Thanksgiving, right? Just in time, kind of. And we cooked Thanksgiving dinner, Christmas dinner on this stove. Yeah, kind of cool, isn't it? One could do it. Also, I've got this Dutch oven, a cast iron pan with a big, tall one with a top, and you can bake in there, right? Yeah. So it works out good. Anywho, worked out all fine, and in a way, yeah, I like it. It was fine. Yeah, we were happy the electric came back on too. After a week. Yeah, that was all. It's all good. We're set up here for anything to stay warm, have water, and food. So we're good. Anywho, so there it is. Just had okay, so what comes with living again, right? Out in nature here. And I talk about that when I make the videos in the barn sometimes. I just got a call from a friend in town, and sad news of a friend that lives way out, way out in the boonies here. And gosh, it takes as long to get to her house as driving to London from here, which is about an hour. All right, not quite that long. They're small roads, right, up and down, so you gotta go slow. That's not necessarily the distance, that's as fast as you could go. And just got the sad news that all of her chickens were killed by some neighbor dogs. And her chickens are like her babies. I mean, they all have names, and they're beautiful chickens. Oh, mine are just a mix of all different types of breeds. They're pretty too, but hers they're big, she has special stock chickens, and well, anyway. So they all, I cannot imagine her sadness right now over that, right? Yeah. Anyway, so, but this is one of the things here, right? When you live out in the wild like this, and even though, as far as I know, her neighbor lives how far away from her, but dogs, when they're loose, they roam. Well, it's one of those things, right? Yeah. You have to adjust here when you have certain things, or you're gonna lose it. You just are. As far as I know, she had a great chicken coop. I can't see how they got in there. They dug in supposedly. How did they get in? It's what it is. I lost a bunch of baby chicks, about 10 of them this year. They were all secured, I thought, but something got in, and that's it. Even into the chicken coop. Okay, I found the hole, but what got in there? Took all of them at the same night. Didn't leave nothing. But then on the outside part, something just got in and killed them, but didn't eat them, didn't take them out. Yeah. It's one of those things that, again, you live where we live, and you have to just hope that you secured things well enough, right, for that, or you're gonna lose it eventually. Right? Yeah, yeah. It's was a sad thing to hear. Yeah. Anywho, so let us get going. I got one dog here who I put back out, working on some arts and crafts, and he tried to take off with my old toothbrush that I needed for him. You want to know what he did? Oh, talking about you. Sometimes you want they're like children. These dogs sometimes are like children, okay? So Gus has been really good, but not even chasing the chickens out there. And I thought, well, I'll try again and let him out so that he can roam too, right? Let him out. And in the evening, I went out the front porch, and there's he's laying down there, and seems like he was chewing on something. I said, what do you got there? I went down and looked, and he was just licking his dirty paws. His paws were all dirty from like dirt or something. His muzzle too, I'm going, what did you do? What happened? And he was kind of, the way he was looking at me, kind of like he was guilty of something. I look up and look, where's Ozzy? Ozzy's laying there, and Ozzy's kind of the same thing. I'm going, what did you guys do? What did you do? I went back in, and I thought, I'll go and look. I look back out, and there is Gus. I have tires that I grow some stuff out of. They were great. I said, to grow food out of. And I just weeded everything out and left them open, which is fine because I put fresh dirt in it just about every year. So he can go in and dig around. And that's actually good because there's always bugs in there that then overwinter, and then if I plant something in it, right? Root problems. So that works out good. And he's digging in the tire, and he pulls out a chicken he just killed. He was still warm. And I thought, you got to be kidding me. So you came into the yard with that chicken in your mouth and knew, and he hid it in the tire, right? And then when he thought they were in the clear because I'd just been out and didn't find anything, he went and dug it out again. Oh, was he in trouble? He was so in trouble. Now he has to stay in again. Well, if that's what, then that's what we do. We got a big front yard here, so it's not like, and he gets to go out to the barn with me. But otherwise, now he's going to have to stay again until he gets a little older. I know he looks huge, but he's only a year and a half, so he's still kind of a puppy. Well, anyway, so there it is. We had a dead chicken. I hope it was a rooster. It was one of the smaller ones, but you can't quite tell yet if it's a hen or a rooster. So I'm hoping it was a rooster. Could have been a hen. Anyway, so there it is. That's our story for today. Oh, so, right. Well, I said it's a give and take. Ozzy is the instigator. Ozzy won't. And I don't have to worry about Ozzy. The foxhound, he's already been, before we got him, you could tell he's been mistreated and starving for a while on the side of the road. Probably either set out or he ran away. He didn't go back home. And that kind of says something. Well, anyway, so we have him here, but you don't have to worry about it. I never worry about Ozzy because Ozzy is too shy, right? He's too street savvy. He's wilderness and street savvy, right? Savvy, yeah. And I never worry about him. I know he's always he'll be here again. Never got hurt. It's just not happening. So there it is. But Gus kind of, so he chases the chicken. Well, chases the chickens. He kind of, the hound does, right? I need something to retrieve, Gus. Can you kill something? So Gus doesn't know to just, okay, have a little fun. which I don't like either when they do that. But he doesn't know to him it's like a toy now. And that's a little sad, but hard to break him from that now. We'll have to see. We are on 17. Oh. Here we ugh. Here goes another. I told you all we need to read is just Genesis. All right, and the book of Genesis 17. When Abram was 99 years old, Yahweh appeared to him. 99. 99. Okay. Old Yahweh appeared to him and said, I am El Shaddai. Live in my presence. Be perfect. And I shall grant a covenant between myself and you, and make you very numerous. And Abram bowed to the ground. Okay, now, again, how many covenants were made here? Now, 99. Renewal. Okay. Not sure why this keeps coming up. And I will make you numerous. Okay, maybe, again, next step, right, where... maybe at the time of Hagar, God had already things in motion, but then what happened with Hagar, then he had to wait again, right? It's always like that. Then suddenly things have to be restored first. The path first has to be plowed again. You don't grow things very well when you don't make some effort, right, for seeds that need that kind of care, right? Like plowing. Right? Just throw them in there. Sometimes they grow, right? If you just throw them out there, right, they do, but you're not going to get the yield that you want. So you got to prepare the ground. God always seemed to be needing to be, again, preparing the ground because, right, his children just, gee, come on now. Can you just stick with what I gave you? With the guidance? Yeah. Anyway, Abram bowed to the ground, so he's good with it. God spoke to him as follows. For my part, you have to say that. This is my covenant with you. You will become the father of many nations. And you are no longer to be called Abram. Your name is to be Abraham. Oh, well, here we go. Abram. Now, I wonder, what's the difference between Abram and Abraham? I will go and look that up and let you know. For I am making you father of many nations. I shall make you exceedingly fertile. I shall make you into nations, and your issue will be kings. I don't like that word. I just don't. I wish we could get rid of certain words. I just not. It's caused so many problems in the world. And I shall maintain my covenant between myself and you, and your descendants after you, generation after generation, as a covenant in perpetuity, to be your God and the God of your descendants after you, and to your descendants after you. I shall give the country where you are now immigrants, the entire land of Canaan, to own in perpetuity. Perpetuity. I don't know what that means either. Ooh, 2 new words. Or this is a new word to me anyway. Gotta go look that up. To own in perpetuity. And I shall be their God. God further said to Abraham, you, for your part, must keep my covenant, you and your descendants after you, generation after generation. This is my covenant which you must keep between myself and you, and your descendants after you. Every one of your males must be circumcised. What? You must circumcise the flesh of your foreskin and that will be the sign of the covenant between myself and you. As soon as he is 8 days old, every one of your males, generation after generation, must be circumcised, including slaves born within the household or brought from a foreigner not of your descent. Whether born within the household or bought, they must be circumcised. My covenant must be marked in your flesh as a male, whose foreskin has not been circumcised. That person must be cut off from his people. He has broken my covenant. Well, let's read a little. I'm sorry, I absolutely do not. This is a part, I'm just going to say it like this. As a woman, to do that to a baby is cruel and unnecessary. And that's the kind of covenant. So, okay, so let's have a covenant. Yeah, all right. And I want that to be marked on your body as well. Oh, okay. Well, then we shouldn't be against tattoos and piercings and all that kind of stuff either, right? Because, well, okay. Because in a way, all this stuff started with circumcision, changing something on your body. Now, again, but I don't understand. I get it. It's a covenant. It's something that, well, now we need to kind of, like people do what? Blood brothers cut their hands, and then shake hands. Okay, that's like a covenant. Like a blood covenant. But is that necessary? Does one have to do that? I'm not saying that wasn't happening, that wasn't a covenant between God and Abraham. But as a woman, now it's Abraham, right? Now we have to switch with the name. We'll go with the times. I'm not getting why God again would need something like that. That doesn't just, and it's not, again, I'm not saying that wasn't, to me, the way I know God, there is nothing there that would suggest that he would have ever asked for something like this. That a baby at 8 days old would have to go through that kind of pain, right? For the sins of, for the sins of the, that doesn't even say it's for that. It's for a covenant. I'm not getting that. And again, I'm a woman. So, not getting this. I'm not getting why God would ask for that. Why he couldn't come up with something else, right? That wasn't so horrific in a way. And, again, so I'm going back, when he created everything in the 8 days, right? Physically, everything was great. Everything was good. The way he created everything, including man and woman. Now, suddenly, he wants to alter something on the physical body. Again, where did these alterations start that people wanted to have? Or how did it evolve? Did it evolve into something good? As I said, people suddenly have all these things going on their body, changing things, this, that. Over time, how has that? And it started with circumcision in baby boys? So was that really coming from God? I wonder. Just because of what I've seen, what it evolved into. Yeah, but I'm just saying, I'm trying to stay with reality here. What I see, what may have happened thousands of years ago, and we believe that was a promise, a covenant, a contract kind of thing with God to recognize his people. He doesn't recognize his own people. Oh, that's for others to recognize others as, Like, what, we're walking around naked so that you could tell if one of them was circumcised or not? Well, what about the women then? What about the mutilations in Africa, for example, that girls go through or had been? Not sure if there's still a practice. Gosh, I hope not. I mean, what time do we live in? On how their genitals were mutilated, right? So it would be super painful to have intercourse, so they wouldn't cheat. It's like, that's not the woman's main problem. That's the guy's main problem, right? Yeah, to cheat. Well, anyway, I'm just saying, right? I mean, we know that. It's not that women aren't doing it, but when it comes to if you want to do it by statistics, okay, at that time, especially, or even, okay. Just saying. This is a weird one. And the more I think about it, the more I'm going, but wait a minute. All right, well, again, as recognition, so that God needs to have that in the physical to know which his children are? That's a weird one to me. Again, I as a woman, no. I'm absolutely against circumcision. A child should never have to go through something like that. This is wrong. This is absolutely wrong. So, and for religious purposes, again, what rituals were introduced here for then people, again, to take it to, oh, here it's just hurting a little boy's weenie, a baby's weenie when it's 8 days old. How far have some people taken that? To hurt children, abuse children physically. I'm just saying. So was this a covenant between God and Abraham, or is this something else again? Who's still in play here somehow? Huh? We already know Abram's not very good at following God's guidance, right? And the problems it caused. So is this really? I'm not sure. Maybe the guys have a different take on it. But when I look out in the world now on how, okay, circumcision. And why? What for? Well, you can abuse, but this kind of was something good. Was it? How? How was that good? Someone tell me what good there was in this. I'd like to know. Because I cannot see it. I can't see that. I can't see how that's any good. So, again, God then is cruel and this and that as well. No, I don't believe that came from God. I think it was the high priests or whoever they were already at the time. Abraham, no doubt, had advisors and stuff like that. I bet you they did. He's already had a big old clan going. And also, again, so he goes after Hagar. God goes after Hagar, but then here, that person must be, if they're not circumcised, that person must be cut off from his people. He has broken my covenant. Oh. Yeah, control, right? Right there. How do you control people? Like that. That's not coming from God. I do not believe that. That's not the God I know. Furthermore, here we go. God said to Abraham, as regards your wife Sarai, you must not call her Sarai, but Sarah. I wonder why the change of names. I shall bless her, and moreover give you a son by her. I shall bless her, and she will become nations, kings of peoples will issue from her. Abraham bowed to the ground, and he laughed, thinking to himself, is a child to be born to a man 100 years old, and will Sarah have a child at the age of 90? Abraham said to God, may Ishmael live in your presence. That will be enough. Ooh, there's Ishmael. But God replied, yes, your wife Sarah will bear you a son, whom you must name Isaac, and I shall maintain my covenant with him, a covenant in perpetuity, to be his God and the God of his descendants after him. For Ishmael, too, I grant you your request. I hereby bless him and will make him fruitful and exceedingly numerous. He will be the father of 12 princes, and I shall make him into a great nation. But my covenant I shall maintain with Isaac, whom Sarah will bear you at this time next year. When he had finished speaking to Abraham, God went up from him. Interesting. So, if kind of first, that's the other thing too here. First, and it kind of just sounds like to me, I do not like this 17 at all. First, in the way it is told. First, it's, okay, I'm going to make another covenant contract with you, okay? And then when and promises things again, and then you do that, right? And on top of that, right, kind of as a reward of starting and doing that, I'm going to give you ahead of time. That's a weird one too. Ahead of time, in a way. You're going to have your own son, and I'm going to continue my promise with him, but I'll bless the other one too. Okay. Does God work like that? Really? God is kind of the God of wheeling and dealing? Which God is that? Which God does wheeling and dealing with the people? Who does that? God. I said, never in my life have I ever come across any kind of experience with spirit world, good spirit world, or the presence of my heavenly parent, my heavenly Father. Have I ever come across anything like this? Or and there should be, maybe I'm not privy of some parts in spirit world. It's a possibility. I'm not dead yet. I don't know all of it. I'm given, I guess, then what I'm supposed to be a part of when it comes to spirit world, right? But in a way, then when I go to spirit world and I find this is all true, I will feel deceived. I think I will feel deceived. I will be sad. I would be sad. As I'm always sad when I hear that the God of wrath, right? God has wrath. Yeah, he's vengeful. He's a jealous God. Okay, I understand that part. God's not jealous, but he carries the sadness within him as a parent when his children turn away from him, or he has to turn away because he can't be a part in their life because other things are always so much more important, right? Are more idolized. That makes a parent sad, not vengeful or jealous. That's not jealousy. But that's how it's translated, depicted. Right? So, but as I said, to fear God. Why would you fear God? Even if you are the worst person on earth, you don't have to fear God. He'd never do anything to you. Never, ever, never. Not going to happen. but he would hope that you find back to your soul. But he can't do that for any of us. We have to do that. So as I said, it is what it is, right? Am I kind of looking for something to, I don't know. You guys tell me. I'm just reading. I'm going, the one part in it, I have to say, surely there was something that was given to Abraham. God says, okay, we went this far. Maybe Abraham stayed abstinent from Hagar, right? Maybe that was initially a condition. I'm not going to make a condition with you, but you can't have any other women. You got to stay with your wife, with Sarah. Right? Sarai. I like Sarai better than Sarah. Sarai. That's pretty. Abram instead of Abraham. Abram. I like Abram too. All right. Maybe there was kind of a give and take, or God said, I need you to be strong and just so that I can. Right? There is that length of goodness there where you're cleansed again, right? From the touch to another woman. And right, Sarah can get over also her grief, kind of, right? Realizing suddenly, but that was a bad idea. I feel really bad about it. Why did I do that? Why did I let my husband? Why did I even suggest that? I feel like, oh my God, cheated on, right? Even though, right? You can't help those feelings. Right? They're there. They're within us. That's part of the principles of love. And when things don't go right properly. And maybe between Hagar and Sarah, in a way, there was, Hagar did her part there too. So that her heart could kind of renew itself a little, heal as well, right? Yes? So then, at the age of 99, 100, suddenly the path was there. Again, I don't know about the ages. But anywho, we'll just go with that. That's a mystery. That might always be a mystery until I go to spirit world. So there you go. So who knows? Who knows what is what in the story? But not all of it sounds right to me. So if you got two different gods in here, the god of night and the god of day. Ooh. All right. Also princes and kings and yeah, I don't know. How much good have they ever done? All right. So, well, that time maybe. Okay. All right, Danielle. This is how it's translated. Then Abraham took his son Ishmael, all the slaves born in his household, or whom he had bought, in short, all the males among the people of Abraham's household, and circumcised their foreskin that same day, as God had said to him. Abraham was 99 years old when his foreskin was circumcised. Ouch. Ishmael, his son, was 13 years old when his foreskin was circumcised. Abraham and his son Ishmael were circumcised on the very same day, and all the men of his household, those born in the household and those bought from foreigners, slaves. So they were slaves. They had slaves at that time. Bought from foreigners. Who were those foreigners? The people of their own people of the slaves? I mean, where the slaves came from, their own people sold them? Were circumcised with him. That's it. Story of circumcision. Toodaloo. Well, I had my say about it. a collective blood sacrifice, right? I wonder how they knew exactly how to do that first time around. Again, I wonder whose agenda that actually was. Yes, one wonders, right? Yeah. Also, the persistence of all the slaves as well had to, right? Anyone in his household that belonged to him, and I guess the whole clan and all the males had to be circumcised. I find it odd on how prominent that somehow is in there, right? Mentioned, right? Yes? I'm not sure. I said. Someone said recently, well, if we didn't have all this conflict here, or things that tell us what good is and what isn't, then we wouldn't know. Oh, really? Are you guys hearing? It's and who it's like being in heaven, just sitting on a cloud and playing the harp. I was given that's many years ago now. After someone passed away, given a little bit of an insight into the inventions that people come up with. Not all of them, or some of them may be misunderstood. But what I saw is that in spirit world, there are all these areas where spirits are working on inventions as well. Okay, I know that sounds really weird, and the hubbub somehow, the hum of voices discussing things, but everything was on the side of good. Everything was with absolute precision and not is it precision and excellence and worked and talked out in 100% plus detail. Okay, every little bit, and for anything, it took a long time a really long time to have a result that then here on earth, in a way, an inkling of it could be given, then to produce something new, something very helpful. I think that's why some people, when they're young and they are very smart, they have these ideas, and we see that out there. Right? Young people producing a machine that can pick up the plastic from the ocean, right? Yes, clean up the ocean. Then are other things where you can cool your home with a very simple mechanism that doesn't it won't cost much. Then Tesla, who came up with an energy plan that could be good and with very little damage to the environment for the whole world, to have electricity, warmth, at least this, and it was squashed. That was, and he wouldn't give them everything. I still don't know. They say now they do. I don't believe it. I do not believe it. That they, and if they have figured it out and it's still not implemented all around the world with what's going on right now, that's very, very, very cruel to squash that so that you're making more money out there. Well, anyway, so in spirit world, as I said, there's other things, right? So there's the science, all that, lots and lots of science going on there. But as I said, it's in the magnitude of the I want to say intellect, but it's not intellect. It's not just intellect. It's a desire for absoluteness, perfection. and nothing's left to just happenstance or whatever. And the hubbub, the hum of voices, were all these spirits that are absolutely dedicated, right, together to figure out every little thing, every little detail, every little atom, particle, eon, whatever, right? So that then, even less than that, of that amazing whatever they come up with, which still has room to expand even further, and a tiny bit of that is given to someone at birth, right? Yes? And then later on, as they grow up, they have certain interests. They have this, and sometimes, right? Okay, they call them geniuses, right? But, well, then why can't everybody? Well, we are. Everybody is a genius. Everybody has. I've said this before. A talent where, if that's found, the parent's job is not just to raise children; it's to find that talent, right? And then when the child grows with that, it becomes something really good in the world. Sadly, a lot of good people, a lot of genius come across people that then are going to abuse them. They want to make the money with whatever, and that's not the purpose of it. All right. Well, anyway, so that's just one part. There are other parts, where the same thing happens. So is it going to be boring in spirit world? Absolutely not. I saw, okay, another part where I love discussions, okay? I really do. And I love delving into discussions in a positive way. Even if someone that disagrees with me, I try to find a common denominator. Of course, if the other person doesn't pick up that common denominator, it's not going to work, right? So then you have to keep trying. But I love having discussions with people, delving deeper into things, and found that it's never ending. You get to one area that's going, oh yeah, we got that kind of figured out. And you go, well, we got to delve a little deeper. And it's just ongoing. And it's wonderful because the more one, right, invests in really trying to understand something, philosophers, right, writers, if you're really on the side of goodness, right, again, that excitement, that exuberance of discovering, right, what earthly life actually means, what spirit world means, and in a way, without having to destroy and throw garbage out into the universe, what the universe is all about. Right? Again, right? Yes, we have these two sides that really, they clash and they clap at each other as well. So it's what it is. Right? I get that too. But so when I read, to go back to the Bible, and when I read in there and I come across a chapter like 17, that makes me very sad, very saddened by that. Mainly because even though we're given these little specks of greatness, we don't know how to develop it properly. That comes with writing, writing the scrolls, writing the Bible, writing to understanding the word given by God to us. That was given at that time, given now. It's very sad that I don't think that's quite all it. That's just me, right? Daniela, right? Anywho, that's what I wanted to share today. Let's see how our fire's going here. It's nice and warm right here. I love it. I want some more of it. Oh, that went down quick. That was pine. This is pine. Oh, not this. This is oak. Oh, but that's too far down. I have a little lighter piece here. Ooh. There. And we'll put the oak on top. Oh, ouch. usually do all this with gloves on. It's better. Otherwise, my hands will get really dry. Okay, so to finish up, see, I know you're not going to be bored in Spirit World if you end up in a good place. Okay, you end up in a good place. That's not my area, where you're going to be. I found there's one thing about people. You will never let me finish up unless I say everything you want to say too. You know, it's really amazing on how we have to put our trust into another person, right? To take good care of their body and everything. Even the father, right? The one that provides the seed. You're all drunk or drugged up. Guess what? Your seed is too. And whatever then, that's why there's some complications, right? Yes? That's very sad, isn't it? So one should never make love when you are on drugs or you're drinking unless you're both fixed, right? Absolutely no possibility to have a child, to create a child. Yeah, now you take that to the cleaners and tell me, when does life start? How important is it? To make sure that you have a healthy baby. Yeah, sometimes there are other things in place, even when. But again, though it is difficult, I really definitely feel like parents that have special needs children, even though they did everything for, right, and they took care of themselves, there should be help out there, because it is more difficult to raise a child like that. It is. It costs more. It is more difficult, right? Takes a lot of care. But these children are such a blessing to us, because in a way, especially when it happens to parents who are really good parents, did everything right, that, right, to have a child, and then end up, the child has some problems, that. You know what that is too? These children are born to suffer for the rest of us as well. Yeah? It's called restoration. Anyway, not because the parents did something, because we all did something. Okay? Yeah. All right. So there's that. So here it is. We give our trust, right, into two people, a man and a woman. They're going to be our mom and dad, and hope that they take good care of us in the womb, and as I said beforehand, at conception, and give us the best possible, right? Best possible start in life. Then we're born, and that's a 100% certainty. That's what it is. You have no choice as a baby, as a seed of a father meeting mama's womb. Okay? You have no choice but to trust both. No choice. You have to do the best for you. Then when you're born, again, there's a period where that too, you have no choice until you get to be old enough where one can run away, learns to obey, and stuff like that. But you start to have your own. You're going to be all your own. Nobody knows you like you do. No one. Nobody. Sometimes we think we know our children. Do we? Right? Nobody knows you as well as you do. That's a certainty. But about anybody else out there, anyone else out there, we don't know. We don't know anything about anyone. That's why I mentioned about the parents that have special needs children. It's a sad thing in a way, but it's also a very beautiful thing. You know, the earth spins on axis, right? Yes, they have to keep going. If they stop, we're gone. In spirit world, these axes have to keep going too. If restoration stops, we're gone too. There. So anyway, a little difficult to understand. You're gonna have to activate your heart to mind. Maybe listen to it a couple of times, then to maybe better understand. And but there is one thing we all know about each other, 100%. We all know. You have to. Everybody had to. You had no choice. But in the womb of a woman, your mother, you had no choice but to trust that environment. No choice. And the other thing we know 100% for certain about everyone else as well. Everybody. I know that for a 100% fact. No way around it. You will die. You will have your last day on earth. 100%. Right? Where's your spirit going to go? Are you going to have a spirit? That again? I know. Yes, I know. Absolutely, 100%. I'm pretty sure I know where I'm going to end up as well there. Right? Pretty sure. Not 100%, but pretty sure. yeah. And, but I have no idea where you're going to go. No idea. Don't know. Because when it comes down to it, all I am 100% certain of is your beginning. Right? It took a man and a woman. It took sperm and eggs to meet. Right? Yes? I know they can do certain things now. Yeah, so be it. But I'm talking about the ideal. Right? I'm not talking about the crazies out there. So, right? I know that for a fact. Right? 100% about you. And I know 100% as a fact about you that you're going to die. Eventually. But you are. No way around it. Then after that again, in between your conception in the womb and death, I don't know. All I know is me. 100%. All I know is me. You see? Yes? Interesting? Yes. So, who knows God 100%? And when I come across a story like in Genesis 17, I've gone, that's not the God I know. Do I know God? You have to acknowledge that too. But from what I have experienced God, I have to say that's not possible. I don't believe that. I don't believe God would do that to little babies. For no promise, covenant, or contract. Okay? Yes. All right. Well, that's enough. God's love and blessings always. I will talk to y'all another time.